scare for the Audi team as after qualifying, Aiden looked completely exhausted to the point where he almost fainted and had to go for a medical checkup. The fact is that Aiden has actually been struggling all weekend physically, and Audi are concerned he won't make the race distance. Here come the 5 red lights for the most demanding race of the year, the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix. It is lights out, and away we go. It looks like Aiden Jackson got a great start there. Charles Leclerc immediately cuts across. That's Max Verstappen with no front wing. What has happened there? And it's a game bug, lads. And it's a piece of debris. The piece of debris that's gone off the track. Have Jackson and Leclerc make contact. We need to see a better angle. And it doesn't look like... Yes! Charles Leclerc has lost his front wing.
How are you doing, mate? I think I'm alright. Oh man, we're already laps in.
Hear this. Mick Hakkinen is legit leading. Aiden Jackson continues taking out, passing almost the entire field to get back where he started. He's now P9 ahead of both Alfa Romeos. Aiden Jackson and Charles Leclerc are back where they started, so Charles Leclerc can be counted as very lucky.
Alright, Aiden, DRS enabled. Oh, that's great news. We may have to bring you in, we may have to call this, mate. Let's bring you in and let's look after you. No, I'm good. I'm just trying not to think about it. Okay, mate, that is the fastest lap. This has been an absolutely monumental effort here, mate. Just a few more laps to go. We're almost home. Copy. Mate, that's the Singapore Grand Prix. I honestly don't know how you did it, mate. You're an absolute hero, you know that? Guys, can we never do this again? Thanks, boys. I'm out.
It's the last stop on the F1 circuit return tour, and we've saved the best for last. Welcome back to the Japanese Grand Prix. It needs no introduction. Fan and driver's favourite, and other Aaron's personal favourites, the seat of many championship deciders in the past, and now for 2022, the latest chapter in a true back and forth between Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, who are now tied on points. But now, a very unexpected challenger is coming quick on them. After his heroic win last time out in Singapore, Aiden Jackson sits now just 53 points with 5 races and 1 sprint to go. Ferrari lead the constructors by 54 points from Red Bull, and then come Mercedes in third, 98 points further back, and now somewhat looking over their shoulders at a highly surging Audi team. Oh boy, Aaron looks hugely excited. Well, good afternoon, Chaos. A very warm welcome in particular to our British viewers up at this hour. The reason I'm excited is not only because it is the return of an absolute classic racetrack, but also because of arguably the most mixed up grid this season, as both championship contenders are further down the order once again due to engine component penalties. Verstappen lines up 13th and Charles Leclerc is 22nd, aka last. So, the big benefactor of this situation could be Aiden Jackson, who starts from his 4th pole position this season, and of his career incidentally. If he wins the Max and Charles out of the points, Aiden will just be 28 points behind, just over a race win of course. And if he gets the fastest lap, that'll be a further point, bringing it down to 27. The bad news for him though is that the next 2 races in USA and Mexico were his weakest performances of last season. Bearing in mind, however, that he was in a car with 0 development throughout the year last season, the complete opposite to what he has underneath him this year. And just as a final note, there is currently no further update on Red Bull's cost cap breach. Thanks, Aaron. Well, I guess that just makes it nice and short and sweet today, doesn't it? Well, let's straight to the Suzuka circuit for a lap. It's the most unique on the calendar, being a figure of 8 configuration. And today's lap of this iconic circuit is from McLaren's Lando Norris, who we should point out starts on the front row alongside Jackson today. Well, we've said this a few times this year, but I think I speak for everyone when I say it this one. It is very good to be back. The Japanese Grand Prix circuit, Lewis Hamilton once called a lap around here a sexy lap. Let's see why on board the McLaren of Lando Norris. And this is the very definition of one of the best roller coaster rides in motor racing. Left, right, right. Very reminiscent of the Maggotts and Beckett sections in Silverstone, but a little uphill undulation as you can see there. And as we go into the double decker right-handers here, you will see that bridge there. That is the kind of part where the figure 8 kind of connects. If you get the right camera angle here, you can probably see some cars on the bottom section of the track while another one is crossing that bridge. If you get the right camera angles, I've seen it before. It is quite a surreal feeling to see. Like, oh, there's a track down there into the Spoon corner right here, and now down to well, it's not a DRS straight, surprisingly. I thought this actually would have been one, but it never has been. But now we're heading into the famous 130R, and even as a Michael Schumacher fan, that move that Alonso did on him even had me out of my seat. So what a corner that is. You can probably get a lot more overtaking in that corner than ever before with these new cars. That is a lap of the Japanese Grand Prix, probably the best circuit on the calendar. With the prospect of the two main championship contenders further down on the grid than usual, we could really say this one. We really don't know who's going to win. What a tasty prospect for the return of one of the most wonderful and famous circuits on this planet. It is round 18, the Japanese Grand Prix of the 2022 season. Commentary from Aaron Hemley. Thank you, Chaos. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, rather, to our British viewers. At this very early hour, it brings back memories. Well, not for me. I probably only did that once, but many of the older days I didn't do it due to other commitments, such as school and stuff. But the Japanese Grand Prix, we have both the championship leaders tied on points with Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. We also have them down further down the grid than usual. We have a front row of weirdness, Lando Norris and Aiden Jackson. I mean, that is unfamiliarity. Down to the back, Charles Leclerc and Yuki Tsunoda, the most unexpected back row of the season, that's for sure. Followed by the Williams of Nicholas Latifi, and not so much the returning Alex Albon, but his second race back from appendicitis surgery. Here Gasly goes from 18th behind Lance Stroll. Sebastian Vettel, always a fan favourite round here. He starts his final Japanese Grand Prix from 16th behind Carlos Sainz. Mick Schumacher has Max Verstappen alongside him on row 7, followed by Zhou Guan Yu back there. Into the top 10 we go with Ocon and Bottas, I think. Magnussen and Hakkinen falling behind here, but Alonso's sick as he really continues to impress in qualifying, to be honest. Lewis Hamilton goes from 4th behind Perez, Lando Norris and Aiden Jackson. As I said, one of the most unpredictable front rows of the season. McLaren really are looking strong around here, especially in the hands of Norris. He's been very, very well consistent this weekend, very much towards the front, battling fiercely with Aiden Jackson over the top of the timing sections all weekend. So finally, it seems McLaren have hit a sweet spot, even with Lando Norris. Well, particularly with Lando Norris, we should say. And just look at this. This is not going to be taken at pedestrian pace on lap 1. This section, one of my favourites on the calendar, as it mirrors the Beckett section from the British Grand Prix. Well, Aiden Jackson is a bit of a rookie round here. He's never raced round here before. Last year we weren't here, of course. So this is his first experience. Not bad for a rookie of this circuit, starting from pole position. And he's been, he did it rather comfortably as well. I think it was like, what was it, like 3 or 4 tenths ahead of Norris, or was it actually much closer than that? I didn't really get a good look at the tires because the grid was going through a lot faster than I was actually reading. But Mercedes, keep an eye on them. Lewis Hamilton 4th and George Russell 5th. Now, they're becoming into a bit of a fight for 3rd position because Aiden Jackson's remarkable consistency since his retirement in Spa, and Audi's in particular with Hakkinen on the podium at Monza, means that Audi are really kind of catching Mercedes at this point, and they could really steal a late 3rd place. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, if Aiden Jackson wins this race and Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc finish outside the points, Aiden Jackson ends this weekend just 28 points behind Leclerc and Verstappen, as they are tied on points with after this about 5 races and 1 sprint left to run. I think it's actually before discounting this one. But that's still a lot of points for Aiden Jackson to gain. So is Jackson making a late push for this championship? It's not so out of reach as we once thought. And Audi have been getting stronger and stronger, especially in this late part of the season. But as we said, Jackson is approaching 2 tracks in USA and Mexico where he was practically nowhere. Nice, yes, he was in a half, so that could be telling of that story. But, well, if Jackson wants to put himself into the championship fight, winning here would be perfect. But it's very unlikely that, given their cars, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc are going to finish outside the points. But I guess in Formula 1, anything can happen, and it usually does. We're about to find out what happens in the 2022 Japanese Grand Prix. They're the 5 red lights and the green flag. And it's lights out, and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix of 22. It looks like Norris got a good start there. He's run alongside Aiden Jackson. We're going to go into turn 1. Is Lando Norris going to lead? Yes, he is. And Jackson runs wide, and he's going to lose out to Perez and possibly Hamilton as well. Not such a good first corner there for Aiden Jackson. That's rare. We haven't seen that. But he's lost out to Perez. And for once, Perez is actually getting the better of the Red Bulls ahead from Verstappen. That's actually happened for a couple of races now. To be fair, Max has had to serve grid penalties. Whereas Max, he is currently 13th, but Charles Leclerc is still at the back. So Verstappen and Leclerc not having the best of starts. And who got the better of it? I think Bottas did. He's in P10. Kevin Magnussen stays 8th. That's more points for Haas. Lando Norris leads from Perez then. Aiden Jackson drops to 3rd after running wide at the first corner. Hamilton's ahead of Russell. Ahead of Alonso, who's got ahead of Mika Hakkinen. I think Alonso started behind him. Kevin Magnussen. There's Charles Leclerc going around the outside of Nicholas Latifi as he begins to make his move in this race. And I think... who else was battling back there? I think it was the AlphaTauris of Tsunoda and Gasly. Fighting over what would be 18th or 19th position right now, because they were towards the back. Tsunoda, good start, to be fair for Tsunoda. He was 21st on the grid. He's actually made his way up to 19th. Alex Albon has made his way up to 18th behind the Aston Martins of Vettel and Stroll. Schumacher's dropped behind Carlos Sainz. No surprise there. That's Aiden Jackson going around the inside of Sergio Perez. That's chicane. What a stunning move from Jackson already on lap 1. Making a position back to 2nd. And now he's got to chase Lando Norris, who's raced out to a 2nd lead as we end the first lap. And that's side by side between Perez and Aiden Jackson into turn 1. That was a beautiful camera. And that was wonderful. Showing the speed that those two were carrying. The side by side through the section. Aiden Jackson once again showing his side by side credentials. Did he run off the track there? That's an interesting thought. I'd like to see that again. I like to think that Aiden Jackson maybe inadvertently cut the corner there a little bit as he was running wide. I guess we'll see that. So he runs wide in turn 1, gives Perez just about a car's width of space, almost hitting the side pump, but not quite. And this is the wheel-to-wheel racing that Aiden Jackson has been known for since 2020, really. And as we have said many times, you can really put a lot of faith and trust when racing Aiden Jackson. Look at that, Jackson was on the grass as he was trying to find a gap into the chicane at the end of the circuit. He got out of shape in the final quarter. That's probably what gave Perez some extra speed. This was without DRS as well, so the Red Bull was pretty good in the straight line. Jackson runs off the track there, doesn't gain the position. Now, let's have a look at this. He goes off probably around here. He's ahead. I don't think that's all 4 wheels off the track though. I think Jackson may get away with that. We'll have to see if the stewards have anything to say about it. Meanwhile, look at Lewis Hamilton round the side-by-side with Perez going to the final chicane. That's not the best camera we've got there at that corner in particular. Hamilton still, he's lost out at the end there. That's Max Verstappen passing Joe Guan Yu, but not quite. Max has made his way up to 12th. Charles Leclerc is 20th. We will keep an eye on those two as the race progresses. That's Lewis Hamilton battling with George Russell around the outside. Oh, I love that camera. That's such a fantastic shot. Hopefully we'll get more of it, because that's been a beautiful shot the last 2 laps. That winding panning camera at the first corner is also a fantastic shot. This is a great track and has a great kind of cameras to showcase it. That's Charles Leclerc passing Yuki Tsunoda. He's fallen off. Now, what's happened to Tsunoda? Did he run wide somewhere? Because now he's down to 20th. He made a great start. He was ahead of Gasly, I think. But now he's lost out. And we're now going to a replay of Max Verstappen. And he was around the outside of Joe Guan Yu again. And, well, this should be an easy pass in theory. And, that clearly... Oh, he locked up. Max Verstappen. Oh! And he almost hit, I think that's Mick Schumacher. But he almost hit there. And he's full behind Carlos Sainz. Now, if Max doesn't get kind of a move on, Carlos Sainz could prove to be a headache here, because no doubt, maybe there'll be a call from Sainz to maybe hold up Verstappen a little bit while Charles Leclerc makes his way through the field. Although, bearing in mind he's only 19th, we have DRS on this lap as well. So, Verstappen now, and Verstappen fall behind Mick Schumacher there. Oh, he already did. Sainz has passed Schumacher then. So that's what's happened there. Mick Schumacher's been passed by Carlos Sainz. No surprises there, given the Ferrari Works car against the Ferrari C-spec power unit in the Haas. So there's not much difference. But the car is superiorly better than the Haas. Aiden Jackson now, as you can see, bringing it to win a second of Lando Norris as Aiden Jackson started to get the hammer down. He's another one who loves this track. He was actually one of those that he couldn't wait for at the start of the season, and we're about to see why. Because Jackson has been on it all weekend again, as he seems back to his best start of the Singapore Grand Prix, and that very much exhausted race that he had. He's been very much better off this weekend, because this track is probably a lot less taxing physically than Singapore is. There's not really energy sapping heat as such. Then you combine that with the hot exhaust of the turbulent air. That's Lance Stroll at the back, so he's had contact somewhere because he is now last. So that's one less car for Leclerc to deal with. He is now last, 25 seconds behind Nicholas Latifi. So I can only assume that Lance Stroll has had to pit for maybe some damage, or maybe Aston Martin are seeing a possibility for some form of undercut. Although, given the Aston Martin this season, I think that'd be rather redundant, to be completely honest. Big rumours of Aston Martin being much better prepared for next season, which is probably why Alonso has been signed onto the project. We'll have to watch them next season. Obviously, Alonso coming in to replace the retiring Sebastian Vettel in his final Japanese Grand Prix. A bit of a fan favourite round here, one of his favourite tracks as well. I think that's really a consensus agreement amongst all the drivers. This one would be at the top of the list of drivers' favourites, alongside something like Spa, for example. And look at Jackson, he's closed even more to Lando Norris. And is it going to be one of those today, where as soon as Jackson takes the lead he races away. He certainly seems the quicker of the two at the front. Sergio Perez in third, followed by Lewis Hamilton, who's really sticking with Perez. Mercedes really coming on strong this weekend for a change. They've had a couple of mixed races, and I think the hurry-up that they have got from Audi in the constructors standings is really woken them up as Aiden Jackson takes to the scenic route of 130R. You're not going to get through there, son. I don't think he meant to do that. He was probably in the turbulent air. It caused the car to understeer off the circuit. I don't know if he'll get looked at for that. I don't think you can really get advantage of track tickets. It's really kind of no man's land out there. So, but he's not lost that much time despite that. So maybe the fact of lost time might give Aiden Jackson another look at by the race stewards. Nothing on that lap 2 pass that he made on Perez. So it looks like the FIA, or the race stewards rather, are very happy with the fact that he didn't have all 4 wheels off the track when he was passing Perez. I think another kind of factor in that is that Jackson was ahead before he got to the corner, but he didn't really gain a place, but he didn't really lose a place either. As Martin Brundle likes to point out sometimes on commentary, he didn't really lose a place. We're probably just as much as not gaining one, really. He didn't effectively lose it. But nothing from the race control and the race stewards as of now on that incident. Well, not incident, but matter in this race. So it looks like Jackson has got kind of away with it. I did think he probably might get some leeway because he didn't have all 4 wheels off the track and he was ahead. So it looks like the law of averages really has Aiden Jackson in that regard. And now he's relentlessly pressuring Lando Norris, the winner of the last year's, I think it was the Styrian Grand Prix. That was when both Red Bulls dropped out. Aiden Jackson had a late race battle with Mick Schumacher on that one as the race moved to, I think it was dry tyres, and Jackson was quicker than Schumacher. And the Haas boys gave it a great fight and a fair fight, and Schumacher eventually, I think, won out in the very few times that Jackson finished behind his teammate. It was around this point that Jackson started to really struggle to get out of last place, because as we said, last year's that's Joe Guan Yu getting out of shape in turn 1. That's giving Esteban Ocon some impetus to get past, maybe, as was Carlos Sainz, who's still in 13th. So both Ferraris and Max Verstappen not really making much headway in this race, which is going to create a very interesting order by the end of it, which is very surprising. I thought Carlos Sainz would have at least made his way into the points by now, but all the bigger hitters not really going anywhere. Charles Leclerc is stuck in this AlphaTauri sandwich, led by Pierre Gasly, just down in 20th. What happened to him at the early laps? As we said, he made a good start by the looks of it, but he's dropped back. And the CV is now 1 second behind Charles Leclerc. No surprises there. Lance Stroll trying to make his way through, and back to the back of the pack as Aiden Jackson tries to go around the inside of 130R on Lando Norris. Nothing doing there. That's the kind of racing and talent that Aiden Jackson possesses. Only a driver of Jackson's caliber could try that, and there's not a lot of people in that bracket. There's Charles Leclerc as he was having a look at Pierre Gasly, but we've cut back to the front. What is happening here? I don't think anything is happening. That's such a great shot. You should really see more of that one. And Charles Leclerc has made his way past Pierre Gasly, so now it's a bit of clean air now for Charles Leclerc, because he's got 2 seconds to catch up to Alex Albon. So he's oh no, wait a minute, that's Pierre Gasly trying to go back down the inside of Charles Leclerc, but the Ferrari C-spec power unit has won out on that occasion. Don't forget that Joe Guan Yu actually does have the Ferrari C-spec power unit as well. We've talked a lot about the C-spec power unit this year. It's had some mixed results, to be fair. And I think that's really just because of the coming on song of Audi in particular. And Mika Hakkinen is still trying to find a way past Fernando Alonso. 4 world championships between these two. Nico Hulkenberg in 98 and 99, Fernando Alonso in 2005 and 2006. Jackson and Norris have raced away at the front now. They're 3 seconds clear of Perez in a league of their own. Here comes Lewis Hamilton. And he loves this place. As we said in the circuit lap, he once called a lap of this a sexy lap. And I don't think many people were inclined to disagree with that, to be fair. And we need to be really watching those two, because Hamilton looked very close to Sergio Perez coming out of that corner. He is going to make the move. Here comes Lewis Hamilton. And down the inside, this would be an easy pass, and it is. Wonderful move by Lewis Hamilton into 3rd place. Now, can George Russell make his way through and probably play a bit of a team game for Mercedes here? Mercedes really need their 2 drivers to be in the midst of it, because Aiden Jackson's form is purple at the moment, and Hakkinen is not doing that much worse. Well, what's the word? He's doing probably just about the same, really. His form is purple as well, because Hakkinen has been absolutely stunning in his return, to be fair. It's not really been enough to win a race, which is very unfortunate, but he did get a podium at Monza. And a very well-earned one at that, after a bit of a late race or mid-race battle with Aiden Jackson that ultimately Chris Weitman called off at the end, and I think that was an inspired decision to do so, considering Aiden Jackson was almost out of fuel by the end of the race. He's vowed never to make that mistake again. I can see why he would underfuel the car, given that Monza's not really a taxing circuit on fuel. And now, down the inside of the chicane again goes Aiden Jackson. He has to brake very hard to avoid a crash with Norris there. Jackson is pushing hard. He is back on song, Aiden Jackson. And he really is continuing to go for strength for strength, as the positions would finish like this. And Jackson would be I would say about 32, 33 points behind the championship lead, with about 4 races and a sprint to go. So Jackson, like we said, on the outside looking in, the last couple of races, I think now you have to probably put Jackson in the conversation for at least a title challenge, being a very slim one, mind you. As Sebastian Vettel is a problem on the front left. And more very bad luck for Sebastian Vettel. In his final season, he deserves much better. I'm going to be honest about that. The Aston Martin has just not been the car that shows his talent. It's been very, very poor from Aston Martin this season. And as we said, they are looking maybe towards 2023. And they claim they should be much better off. But we'll see. But it could be a year too late for Sebastian Vettel, which would be a real shame. And Norris leads from Aiden Jackson. They race away. Hamilton now has a second as Aiden Jackson takes to the grass. Railway outside of 130R. He's Alonso-esque. He's done it. What a move by Aiden Jackson. P1. Oh my goodness. Aiden Jackson round the outside through 130R. Vintage Fernando Alonso, but Norris fights back and takes the lead again. It's going to be a race-on battle between these two. Cuts across, makes the one move. He can't come back across. Jackson denies an opportunity round the outside of turn 1. It is side-by-side, and Norris wins out. Oh, what a battle these two are going to have. Stunning stuff from Norris and Jackson. Look at this. Vintage Fernando Alonso on Michael Schumacher. Round the outside of 130R. He took to the grass. He signalled his intent. Oh, what a move. It's a lot easier to do these days than it was in 2005. But like I said, even as a Schumacher fan, that hurt me out of my seat. And that one was very close as well. Norris had DRS here. So it was a good move from Norris to begin with. As he fell behind, he made sure he was in the detection zone. But look at that. Vintage Aiden Jackson trying to hold it around the outside, very much like he did in Spain against Nicolas Latifi in 2021, which was probably the coming out day for Aiden Jackson, really. And now around the outside of the chicane again, he's going everywhere, Aiden Jackson. He is all over Norris. He takes to the out. Oh, did he pass? Norris outside the track. He might have to give that one back. He's really playing with the limits, isn't he? Does he let him through? He does. Even with DRS, I think he didn't want to risk the wrath for the race stewards on that one and gave Norris back the position. The McLaren's pretty nippy in a straight line as well, to be fair. The AlphaTauris are now battling again for the low leads of 18th place. Alex Albon is doing a very good job, by the way, in 17th. You can actually see Charles Leclerc and the Williams. So I think Leclerc has actually just recently passed him. Now, this is going to be interesting. Max Verstappen 14th, Charles Leclerc 15th. What's going to happen there, do you think? That's going to be an interesting one. But they're not really making the inroads we expected. Most of the passing moves seem to be at the front between Jackson and Norris. And the more they battle, the more closer in Lewis Hamilton gets. And it could turn into a three-way fight for the win here. So, Mick Schumacher, once again, providing to be the cork in the bottle for kind of drivers in better cars, let's say. Be fair to Schumacher, he's not backing down from a challenge, is he? I think it's a real shame how it has kind of all been for naught at Haas. There was Jackson trying to go around the outside of chicane. He's all over Lando Norris. He's not letting him get away here. Jackson is racing for his life here. Well, not for his life, but he's trying to have the race of his life at the moment. And Sergio Perez has passed George Russell. Oh, that's because Lewis Hamilton's in the pits. Okay. So, that's... How did Perez fall behind Russell then? Did he... we probably missed that one, I guess. Hamilton's coming out of the pits. That's the hard tyres. And everyone else is coming in as well. Is that a broken front wing? Behind Charles Leclerc there? Or was it just a shadow, maybe? So Verstappen's going on. So he's going for one lap more than Leclerc is. Pierre Gasly's dropped to 20. Maybe he did have a front wing change. I don't know. I can't really see much from here. And, I'm not sure what happened there. We had a freeze for a moment on my screen. I don't know if you guys are going to see it in the upload, but there was a freeze on the screen, but it was only momentary. We're back, and we are witnessing a truly enthralling battle between, well, two very unlikely candidates for this race. Lando Norris and Aiden Jackson. Aiden Jackson, I think it's almost no secret, or no surprise at this point to see Jackson at the front. We're getting very accustomed to him there. Lando Norris, not so much. And that's not really due to him or the car. It's just been the circumstances, really. Lando Norris already is a race winner, as we mentioned earlier, on the 2021 Styrian Grand Prix. That was only really because the Red Bulls had calamities in the engine department. As Aiden Jackson comes in. And I think George Russell came in behind him. And I think we had a yellow flag somewhere, because in that shot of Hackett, and I saw the green light flashing. So I think we've got a yellow flag somewhere. Or did. And, oh, that's Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is out. What? Oh, no. Max Verstappen has pulled off. What happened here? And it just died. The car just died on him. Oh my goodness. Wow, this changes the championship completely if Charles Leclerc can get to the points. Verstappen is pulling off there. Is he blocking the pit lane for that one? It's probably not his fault. But oh my goodness, what a twist. The Red Bull has pulled to the side again. Well, we haven't seen that since Bahrain at the beginning of the season. When Max pulled to the side and out of the race. But now, that's interesting. Charles Leclerc needs to get into the points now. Because if he doesn't, he will not take any advantage. He has a big, that's a big open goal now. And if Charles Leclerc needs to get a move on. And Hakkinen is in the pits. And he was around Perez. And he's going to come out third, I think. Fourth, as Aiden Jackson's going to pass both those drivers in the pits. And Hamilton has got out ahead of Perez. That's pretty crucial for his race. And for Mercedes, for that matter. Mercedes really needs to pass Red Bull. George Russell really needs to pass Perez right now, because Audi are coming up quick on Mercedes, as we've said. In the position to finish like this, and George Russell is able to pass Perez, then that would be pretty much break even, really. Mercedes wouldn't lose that many points in the constructors. So, and Carlos Sainz is going to get a vital point for Ferrari here, but Sergio Perez is still on for at least 4th place. Now, Max pulling out here of the race, that is, or dropping out of the race, I should say. That'll probably be a better sentence. Means that the Drivers' Championship at the moment stays as it is, because Charles Leclerc cannot pass Mick Schumacher, and everyone's been struggling to pass Mick Schumacher today. So it's been a valiant fight from him in the Haas. Now, this won't change much in terms of championship position at the very top. I'm trying to think. Does Max have it on virtue of race wins at the moment? Because they're tied on points. I think Verstappen has it on virtue of more race wins. Because Charles won in Bahrain, then he won in Saudi Arabia. Max then won in Australia, I believe. He won in Spain. He won in Miami. Where else did Max win? I'm trying to think. I know he did a great pass for second in the Austria sprint race on the last lap. He won at Monza. We know that. I'm trying to think where else. Charles won in France. I remember that. Russell won in Spa, so that really didn't mean much in terms of the top 2, that is. Yeah, I think that's probably about it, isn't it? We won the Austria main race. I think that was Carlos Sainz, wasn't it? Because Jackson fell off with a gearbox issue. He was on to win that one. Jordan Verstappen had that collision, didn't they? So that took Verstappen out of the points, most likely, although he probably finished in the low ends later with a comeback drive, which would be vintage Verstappen at this point. Now, George Russell here, while I try and remember the permutations of everything, let's focus on this for a moment, because George Russell is very close to Sergio Perez here, and that could have big implications for the Constructors' Championship, as Carlos Sainz battles with Kevin Magnussen. The Ferraris are struggling against the Haas this weekend. And look at that. Wonderful late braking by Magnussen. Side by side for the chicane. We are getting a lot of action here today, folks. This is definitely a race where overtaking is possible. Now, who has DRS there? I think it's Kevin, you know. But the Ferrari C-spec unit in the Ferrari Works car is better in a straight line. It's not really proving the case for Charles Leclerc, though. Quite sad to see George Russell in a different helmet. I was a big fan of his 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix design, being very similar to Michael Schumacher's. That's probably very obvious. But George went with his own kind of style after that one, and I think that's pretty fair. Although I certainly would have minded seeing that helmet a lot more, to be fair. I'd see Mick Schumacher run it, to be honest. And he ran, in 2021, Mick did run a very similar to his father's, one of his old style helmets. Lando Norris and Aiden Jackson continue to fight for this win. This has been almost a race on battle between these two. And a lot of respect has been shown. And as we've said many times over the last few races, you can really put a lot of trust in the wheel-to-wheel combat with Aiden Jackson. He will give you the car's width at all times if he can. And he's certainly given Norris plenty of car's width in this one. He's really hooked up round here today. especially in the hands of Jackson. Hakkinen, sadly, is falling out a little bit from the clutches of Hamilton. But to be fair, it's another poised finish for Mika Hakkinen. Where could he end up at the end of the season in terms of the championship? We know that this half season will be his last. I think his last for the foreseeable, that is. Given the man is approaching or even surpassed his 50th birthday. I think it's 53 years old. I think it makes him one of the oldest drivers in the sport today. And he's done an absolutely stellar job for Audi in this part of the season. And he's even finished ahead of Jackson on a few occasions. But not today, because Aiden Jackson is on it. Round the outside of the chicane. There's a yellow flag somewhere. Not sure why. We'll try to find it. And it's a wide camera shot. I think it's George Russell. Oh my goodness, the championship twists are forever coming around. Another twist. George Russell's out. The car, very similar to Verstappen, has pretty much died on him. And that very much severely slashes the points Mercedes will get in this race. Aiden Jackson around the outside, going to the chicane again. Jackson is all over Lando Norris. He's passed him. How long for? Another stunning move by Aiden Jackson. Right, he's got DRS down this straight. This will keep him ahead now. So, Jackson now leads. That promotes Hakkinen up to 5th. That's George Russell's retirement. Mick Schumacher is having a race of his life. Down in 13th place, fighting with Carlos Sainz here. And Schumacher, in the last 2 races, is really starting to show some of that combat. A bit of a shame, really, that we won't see him next year. But if he does land at Audi or Mercedes, then for even a reserve role, that could be crucial for his future. Let's see this move from Aiden Jackson then. Took to the outside. Look at the speed. And the exit out of that corner was really something for Jackson there. And he kept it within the track limits there. Brilliant move. Oh, Jackson, he can make moves out of seemingly very little sometimes. And this is him back to his ultimate best. But Norris is not letting him get away at all. And this bodes well for McLaren in 2023. If Norris can be like this, it bodes well for them next season. Don't forget, Daniel Ricciardo is still in 7th. That's a very respectable decision. Meanwhile, round the outside with DRS, Lando Norris takes back the lead. Jackson doesn't really fight that too hard. And look at that. The first 3 are in the same camera shot. Lewis Hamilton is coming. Win 105 could be coming very, very soon. If Hamilton gets the right moves here. It's 104, isn't it? It's 104. I knew it was one of them. And that is such a great shot with that on the bridge. Unfortunately, we don't see a track or a car on that part of a track at the same time. Why are the Ferraris struggling so much against the Haas drivers? Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc are just being held up. They really should be making easy work of these cars. The Haas is not as good as the Ferrari, but somehow Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen are making it work. Schumacher having another drive worth of points and just not getting them. It's been so unlucky, to be fair. Biased, maybe. It's also true. Oh, and Norris locks up, and Jackson will take advantage round the outside in that the exit of the chicane, and he passes him. Now, who got DRS there? I would assume it'd be Jackson. But now that closes Lewis Hamilton within DRS as well. We're going to have a three-way battle for the win in the final laps here. Where have Mercedes come from? Mercedes and McLaren certainly have been the surprises today. Aiden Jackson just reading the track and reading the room, as it were. Wonderful reactions from Jackson on the lockup. And Jackson, once again, that wheel-to-wheel racing that Jackson is so good at. He has a sixth sense of when things are going to happen. He read the Callum Ilott spin in 2020 very well. Well, we have not seen this all season. We have 3 drivers all within DRS range. Here comes Norris, and Jackson keeps the lead. Hamilton can't pass Norris either. DRS is kind of mitigated for Hamilton. Now Charles Leclerc round the inside of Mick Schumacher around 30R. Mick Schumacher keeps it to the side by side. Is he going to make it through? Schumacher's going to fight it out. He's going to win it. Oh my goodness. Mick Schumacher. Go on, lad. And sadly now, I think it's going to be redundant. No! Schumacher holds it in because he has DRS. Oh my goodness me. Mick Schumacher finally is getting somewhere. Unfortunately, still not for points. Oh, that's so annoying. I must stop in my bias, but I can't help it. He's a Schumacher after all. But what a race for Mick Schumacher. To be fair, it is true though, isn't it? What a race by Mick Schumacher. He's battling with Ferrari and winning out. And so is Kevin Magnussen when it comes to Carlos Sainz. What a race. What a race we've had. Maybe we should do this more often. Maybe we should have these mixed up grids. It really curates some great racing today. It's been definitely one of the races of the season so far. And we still don't know who's going to win. Because Norris and Hamilton are very equal in terms of performance today with Aiden Jackson. And I don't think Perez is too far behind them either. But he might be on the outside looking in most likely. If Haas, maybe, with just a little bit better of a car, well, is that really fair? Because Magnussen has got a bulk of the points lately. I think Schumacher's just been hugely unlucky. The car, let's face it though, the car is better for 2021. They were on average 4 seconds slower than the pole man in 2021. On an average day. Jackson was just able to get points through great racing, great persistence, and in some cases, great pit calls. Although the Haas, Jackson did pass a couple of cars who wanted to win, let's not forget that. But it was right place, right time mostly for Aiden Jackson and Haas in 2021. So it's certainly a much better car in that regard. But it's just a Mick Schumacher just had tremendous bad luck for the most part. He did rather squander a points opportunity in the envelope with a spin, to be fair to him, but I don't think Schumacher's had a terrible season. It doesn't look great when your teammate from year one scores 28 points in an undeveloped car, and Kevin Magnussen has got the bulk of the points this season, and Schumacher has 0. Sure, it doesn't look great, but to be fair, I think it's just had the best of luck in most cases. As Norris and Jackson continue to go side by side through turn 1. Jackson is fighting his heart out for the win of this race. And now, Kevin Magnussen and Carlos Sainz resume battle. And Haas are giving no quarter to their customer when it comes to engine. And a lot more other parts too. It's more than an engine customer deal that Haas have with Ferrari here. It's not. I mean, the Haas is not a Ferrari, let's face it. It's not. But they certainly have a bit of a very close partnership with Ferrari over the course of their entry 9 years ago in 2016. It has been run the whole course of Haas's tenure in Formula 1. And I think we can only imagine the battle that is going to be titanic if Mario Andretti and the Cadillac group can make the entry into Formula 1 work for 2026. It's going to be some battle because it will be American, mostly an American team again. Or it will be. Not again, but it will be another American team on the grid. Some thought maybe a kind of small partnership with Collisport could be in the works because they will be the most recent new team on the grid for next season. So maybe Cadillac could maybe work something out in that regard, but that's many years away yet. So much can happen, and in 2024, of course, we've got the last year of the contracts of many drivers, including Lewis Hamilton. I think Bottas is another. I think Hulkenberg is a 2-year plan as he comes in to replace Mick Schumacher at Haas next season, and that's more through Audi's kind of deal with him, being their brand ambassador, of course. Well, Alex Albon still sporting the Red Bull on his helmet. Still heavily affiliated with the team. Replacing him with Perez was the right thing to do, but it was incredibly harsh on Alex Albon because he's really come good in the Williams this year. Well, anyway, penultimate lap, and we still have no idea who's going to win it. Lando Norris, rather, is going to have DRS in his final lap here. Will Hamilton be able to make a move? It is the final lap. It is game on for this Japanese Grand Prix. And here comes Lando Norris with DRS. And he takes the inside. The Audi has lost a lot of its straight line speed. Jackson holds it around the outside. What a great camera view. Jackson's still there. And what is happening? They're still side by side. Look at this. Titanic battle through the left, right, lefts. Jackson goes a little bit wide. Hamilton comes in around the inside. We got a Titanic battle. Looks like Jackson's just got ahead. Oh my goodness, I wish I'd gone for a few corners more. Oh, Jackson makes another mistake. Jackson's still on the grass. He's all over the road, defending his position for all he's worth. Magnussen is still ahead of Carlos Sainz, and Mick Schumacher is still ahead of Charles Leclerc. And there'll be no points for Charles Leclerc in this race. A dropped opportunity for him. No points. And what is going on at the front? We need to see more of that, please. We do. And Jackson's all over the road. I think he's really struggling with the wear of his tyres. And this is going to go right to the line. And look how close Lewis Hamilton is as well. And look, Norris is darting all over the track, round the outside of 130R. Here comes Lewis Hamilton as well. This is going to be, oh my goodness. Oh, I thought there'd been a move on there. Oh, into the chicane. Here comes Perez as well. At the line, Aiden Jackson, I think, is just about going to take it. He is. Oh, what a fight. Oh my god, I thought Norris was going to go for a move at 130R. Oh, what a race. Why is Charles Leclerc been a Schumacher? I don't know. We saw that. But look at this. What lap is this? Is this the last lap? Might be. I don't know why we're looking at the last lap. We should be looking at the... Oh, here we go. So here's Norris on the inside. Jackson brakes later. And that's a cars with the space. That's a cars with the space. Look at this. Jackson vintage. Vintage Jackson. Like he was in Spain. And somehow I think he kept it within the track in his head, just. Oh my goodness. Well, really.
Aiden Jackson, that is the Japanese Grand Prix, mate. Fair and square. Fair and square. You took him.
He did.
Well done.
He did.
Oh, that was a bow and off. Oh man, props to Norris, that was fantastic. Thanks boys, we got him.
Aiden Jackson enjoyed that one. Props to Norris. A great show of respect there from Aiden Jackson. Once again, just showing that trust you can place in him. And oh my goodness, what can this boy not do? What is the limit now for Aiden Jackson? Well, as you'll see in a moment, it could be anything. What a race. And maybe we should do this more often. But the big disappointment is Ferrari. Carlos Sainz not passing Magnussen, and Charles Leclerc has been gifted 13th place by the game ahead of Mick Schumacher. We saw on the replay that Schumacher was ahead. So why is as the game somewhat scripted somewhere that Charles was going to pass Mick before the race ended and giving him 13th place as a result? I don't count that one. I don't count that one. The game has robbed Mick Schumacher of a tremendous race, to be fair. And I've got to let it right. Look at the championship standings. There you go. Confirmation. Aiden Jackson now is just 28 points behind Max and Charles Leclerc. Max does have the lead on the virtue of more race wins. Hakkinen solidifies his top 10 place in the standings. Really, probably could have catch Alonso from there. I think Hakkinen could break inside the top 10 actually. And well, Schumacher finishes ahead. Well, will be ahead of CV if the results stay as they are, because I'm going to better race positions. Red Bull 43 points behind Ferrari now, and Mercedes really are looking over their shoulder. Audi now just 13 points is there? Oh, well, it's another stunning win for Audi and Aiden Jackson. And well, this championship battle has just taken another twist, and the door opened for Aiden Jackson, and he walked through it. This two-way fight for so long has turned into a three. Just a shame that two of Jackson's weakest tracks are next, and it starts with the USA, where Formula 1 returns. We've had a cracker today, folks. What a race.